Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Hayati Naseha. My membership number is 277662. Now I will present the determinant of credit risk of HypoVereinsbank, which is one of the banks in Germany. A little bit of background of this bank. HypoVereinsbank, also known as HVB, is a German bank that was founded in 1998. HypoVereinsbank is a significant private bank in Germany and a subsidiary of UniCredit, a pan-European commercial bank, which is offer a range of banking services including credit cards, debit cards, private banking, corporate banking, and investment banking. It has 2,100 branch offices that serve over 8.5 million consumers. Moving on to the problem statement, credit risk is not something that banks are completely removed from. The country's entire financial system might be at risk if a single bank fails to fulfill its responsibilities. So, the purpose of this study is to examine the factor affecting the HypoVereinsbank credit risk within the timeline from 2017 to 2021. There are three research objectives. The firstly is to identify the internal factors that affecting the credit risk of the HypoVereinsbank. Second is to identify the external factor affecting the credit risk of the HypoVereinsbank. And the thirdly, to identify the internal and external factors that affecting the credit risk of HypoVereinsbank. Next section is the literature review. For credit risk, Markowitz 1954 defines credit risk as the possibility that a borrower would fail to meet its financial obligations and so default on some form of debt. While liquidity, the term bank liquidity describes a bank's ability to pay its bill as they come due without going into serious debt to do so, according to Harper 2021. While yield curve, explained by Hayes 2023, is a graph that displays the yields or interest rate of bonds with the same credit quality but different maturity dates. Investors can use this instrument to gain a better understanding of the bond markets, interest rate, and the state of the economy as a whole. The methodology that I use is collecting financial data from annual report of HypoVereinsbank from 2017 to 2021, and then the data will be analyzed through linear regressions by using SPSS. Three models are included in the analysis according to the research objective, where credit risk was set as dependent variable. The descriptive statistics. The mean and standard deviations of credit risk are 0.1364 and 0.0022 respectively. The low value of standard deviations indicates that HypoVereinsbank has high stability and low volatility in experiencing variations of credit risk exposure. The ROA shows a small value of mean and standard deviations. Due to banks' high levels of debt, even a low ROA may still imply sizable revenues and profits for a bank. Liquidity exhibits a low standard deviations value, which is determined by the bank's risk tolerance in its financing portfolio. Looking at the mean of LLP is 1.7%. It is found that the average of LLP at conventional banks was 9%. HypoVereinsbank allocate a very low percentage of LLP to cushions against expected losses from non-performing loans. For correlation analysis, it is found that debt-equity ratios (DER), debt to total assets (DTR), and loan size are positively correlated with significant. This is because p-value of DER is 0.066 and DTR p-value is 0.07. Both of these are less than 0.1, while p-value of loan size is 0.019, which is less than 0.05, that shows stronger significance. This tells us that whenever any of these variables increases, credit risk of HypoVereinsbank will increase in relations. While loan loss provisions, LLP, regular capital, and interest rate are negatively correlated with significant. P-value of LLP is 0.076, which is less than 0.1, while regular capital and interest rate both have the same value of p-value, which is 0.017. And it is less than 0.05 and also shows stronger significance. So, whenever LLP, regular capital, or interest rate rises, credit risk of this bank will decrease in relations. For model summary, we can see that Model 1 and Model 2 has negative adjusted R-square, indicates that there is lack of clarity in these models and these models are poorly defined. This happened due to the small sample size taken and it may result from multiple VIF treatment. In addition, the Durbin-Watson of all models do not fall within no autocorrelation range, which is from 1.5 to 2.5, indicating that all data from all models is autocorrelated. Only model 3 show positive adjusted R-square, where it resulted yield curve and capital adequacy ratio (CAR) are taken as the predictors that accounted for 39.7% towards credit risk. ANOVA summary here reflects the overall regressions for all these three models are not significant with p-value bigger than 0.1. The smallest p-value recorded only in model 3, which is 0.301. For coefficients, model 1 showed LLP is the most influential variable as it recorded the highest t-value but with no significance. Model 2 showed market risk as TDV is the most influential variable but also without significance. Model 3 showed capital adequacy is the most influential variable to credit risk but also with close to significant as the p-value is 0.18 and yet it is still no significant. According to the analysis, the most significant effect on credit risk of HypoVereinsbank is LLP, loan loss provision, and it is negatively correlated with credit risk. This result is contradictory with study by Ozili and Auta 2017, which they found that the level of loan loss provision is positively associated with banks' credit risk modeling disclosure and their loan loss provision timeliness. Two recommendations that I can suggest are implement forward-looking provisions and maintain adequate reserve. HypoVereinsbank can adopt forward-looking provisioning methods. This involves considering expected credit losses based on future economic conditions and changes in borrower circumstances. By doing this bank will be able to better anticipate potential loan losses and adjust their provisions accordingly. Next, HypoVereinsbank should maintain sufficient reserve for loan losses to ensure that they have the necessary funds to cover potential defaults. This involves regularly reviewing and updating the loan loss provisions based on changing projections and estimates. Adequate reserve provide a buffer against unexpected losses and help maintain the bank's financial stability. That's all from me. Thank you.